Did you know the woman named Jenka had a younger brother? Name was Balos. Like his older sister, he had magical powers unlike anyone could imagine. Huh? You can breathe. If you notice, Curly has given us her air tank. It allows for underwater breathing. Curly gave it to you. If you did not pick up the tow rope, you have failed. With it, though, no reply. She's not moving, but appears to still be alive. Will you use the tow rope? Absolutely. Wrap the tow rope around Curly. Make sure to take her with you. She's helped us more than we know. We need to repay that favor. So let's get out of here. I love this segment of the game. Frankly, this is one of the reasons I really want to do the true ending, is because you save Curly Brace. In no other ending do you actually save her. That's why I wanted to make sure we did things right this time. Welcome to the waterway. This is a super interesting area that frankly is filled with some pretty easy enemies. I think it's a really nice, just relax moment. So long as you have Curly, so long as you've done everything else, you can take a breather here. It may not be the easiest, but it's certainly a lot easier than anything we've been fighting. Now, much like the other segments, there are some things we need to do here. So, be wary of that. Namely, there's going to be a little jump coming up that you need to make sure you hit in order to help out Curly. I believe it's coming up just down here. Luckily, with her air tank, we're more than equipped to actually explore down here, which is nice. I believe it's those jumps coming up. Yeah, it's right there, that jump. Make sure you hit that, and unfortunately we missed the second part. But it's not so hard. There we go. Come on up here. Deal with all the little jellyfish. It's quite interesting seeing all these enemies back, but it's not all that bad. Otherwise, when you're ready, come on down here, and I believe you need to jump up somewhere in here. It's a whole mess of things, but eventually you'll figure it out. Should you do things correctly, you'll end up here, in the waterway cabin. I'd recommend saving your game. You want to rest? We do. This will lay Curly down in the bed. Although she's not moving, she seems to still be alive. Text is displayed on screen. That reminds me, I also recorded some findings on that notebook. Notebook? Huh, maybe on one of these shelves? No. Here? The notebook is covered in dust. Open the notebook? Sure. Robots manufactured on the surface have limited aquatic mobility. In the case of flooding, the system will automatically initiate a shutdown to prevent from short-circuiting. Below are instructions on how to service flooded robots. After some reading, you learn how to service flooded robots. This is another necessary step in order to save Curly and get the true ending. Flooded systems will begin a reboot process automatically after using the above method of draining. Drain the water from Curly? Yes.
You're safe. Oh, I'm glad. I thought you were a goner. You lost consciousness and I couldn't think of anything to do about it. So I gave you my air tank. It worked, didn't it?
He fell asleep. If I were you, save the game again and give her time to rest. The restart process will take some time to complete. So, make sure to give her that time. You like to leave her here? No. So, make sure you check her and bring her with you. While it will take time to complete, you at least can continue moving. Plus, because you have her air tank, she'll be safe now because she's with you. Woo! Careful for these spikes. These jumps are a little tricky. Now, coming up, we have another, interesting boss. Notably, if you're after achievements, should you beat the boss without taking damage, you will get a little secret, which is super nice. Woo. Ow! That's really bad. All right, something's coming. So yeah, welcome to this boss. It is super different. If you can manage to beat him without taking damage, you will receive a reward. I evidently already failed. So, if you want, you can absolutely try this again. I might, because frankly, I screwed up the platforming really, really badly. Usually, frankly, if you see, the blade is super good for beating him with not being leveled up. So, I'm going to purposefully fail and give it a retry. So that way, hopefully, I can show off the item that we get for doing that properly. Like I said, I'm not wonderful at this game. So, you know, we'll give it another shot. Luckily, the way there isn't too bad. I would also recommend just having the Polar Star equipped. Or even, honestly, maybe just taking a hit while you have the blade equipped, so that way you can level it down, because frankly, the damage on it is super useful for the fight to come. I don't like having it upgraded for this fight, because it makes it a lot harder to deal with the things behind you. You gotta do a lot more dodging. It's not that bad, but it does certainly make things a lot more difficult. Ooh. Plus, it doesn't do nearly as much damage to the boss as it otherwise would do if it were de-leveled. It's still not bad damage, don't get me wrong. It's just not quite what we saw before. Also, the nice thing, you don't actually have to dodge the fish until they start to inflate themselves. So until that happens, don't worry too much about it. Come on, baby. Oh, we almost got him. It's namely just make sure you dodge the blocks and don't get hit by the boss. If you can do that, oh, we failed at the last second. That's so sad. Well, let's quit the game and try again. Oh boy. Well, I'll meet you back there. All right, fish. This time I got you. I de-leveled my blade and everything. We should be more than ready for you. Come on, baby. Yeah, there's some good damage. I took a hit already. Well, back to the drawing board. All right, attempt number 3. Come on, baby. We can do it this time. It's always third time's the charm, right? Come on, baby. Admittedly, the blade, while upgraded, it is still pretty good. As you can see, the damage isn't nearly as high, but it's certainly more helpful for dealing with the fish. Well, I suppose attempt number 4 it will be. All right, fish, attempt number 4. I'm certainly this time that we will do it. And if not, well, oopsies. Come on, baby. Let's get that damage up. All right, good, good, good. Not a bad first foray. Oh, get back here, you. Come on, baby. Come on, blade. Get him. Woo, almost, almost. All right, we got him this time. Come on. Oh, almost. There he is. Boom, there we go. And for beating him without taking damage, these little squids show up. And for doing it, you receive a special little item in your inventory. Namely, the alien medal, which is a reference to one of the other games they've done, which is super cute. But hey, we're back in Mimiga Village.
If you notice, things are a lot more somber. And no one seems to be around.
Anyone home? Oh, Professor Booster.
It's just you. The doctor has amassed the red flowers. All the mimiga of the island have now fallen under his grip. And tragedy is inevitable. Had I known these events would transpire, then I should have at least had Sue escape from the island.
And now, you obtain the booster version 2.0. This is why you do not want to take the booster from him, because I think he also dies if you do it. So, do that hard jump, do the couple hard segments without it, and now you'll receive a much better item.
Please honor my final request. If you see Sue one last time, please take her and escape from the island. She is Dr. Sakamoto's daughter. For the longest time, she resisted coming to this island, but she couldn't be left behind all alone. She had no choice but to follow us to the island. Please, take her and escape.
So, the booster version 2.0. Press the jump button while airborne and boost in one of 4 directions. Do you want to equip it? Absolutely. This is an incredibly versatile piece of equipment. This turns the game into a very different beast, and frankly, I am so happy to have it. Oh. Now, if you do not get the version 2.0 of the booster, you'll be stuck with the version 0.8. The 0.8 doesn't allow you to boost in other directions like this, so it by default just isn't as good as this. So keep that in mind. Now, as you can see, whoops, we can get back up from where we came from all that time ago. It's a bit tighter platforming than maybe you'd like, but with enough persistence, we can get back up here. This is the point in the game where you do want to come back all this way. You might be wondering, well, why would you want to do that? Well, we've had our trusty Polar Star with us for a very long time. And if you remember, we took it from someone who was sleeping. Not exactly the nicest thing to do. So, it's time we finally return it. We had, I suppose, noble intentions at the time, but, yeah, it's time we, finally return this thing. And again, if you got rid of it at any point, you can't return it. So, So, in we go. Hey, guy. Did you happen to see the gun I made? Someone pilfered it while I slept. Should have just slept with the thing in my chest pocket had I known that was going to be the case. Wait! That's my gun! Why do you have it? I didn't make it for you. Give it back. The Polar Star was confiscated. Rightly so, I suppose. You've apparently put a significant amount of wear on it. I was raised to believe that weapons should always be constructed by oneself. Always thought those who fight with a firearm created by another person are all fools, growing overconfident with powers that were never their own to begin with, and blaming their own shortcomings on the equipment they use. Fools! Still, but now, seeing my gun used by you, with your hands, I'm so very incredibly touched. Use an incomplete gun such as the Polar Star to this degree. Pardon my rantings. How about this? I'll give it to you. After it's completed, of course. So for waiting all this time, the Polar Star is now the spur, the ultimate weapon in the game. There remains a very delicate balance in this world between those who create and those who will experience the creations of others. Can't say that I wasn't aware of this, However, I had never experienced it. Now, thanks to you, I finally have. As long as there's someone who will appreciate the work involved in creation, the effort is time well spent. To this end, I will continue to create for as long as I can. And honestly, what a wonderful mantra. That's exactly the kind of belief I have. Still, you're probably wondering about the spur. If you notice, it's level 1, but its base shots are that of the fully leveled Polar Star. And if you notice, when you shoot, you can hold the button. When you hold it, it charges level. When you release it at level 1, it fires a beam. You charge it to level 2, it fires a double beam. And if you charge it all the way, it fires a mega beam. This weapon is obscenely powerful. This is the reason you wait so long. Because as you can see, this weapon single-handedly will outdamage anything in the game. This is why, although you may not have the missile launcher, it's not a big deal in hard mode. If you can play the game well enough and dodge consistently, you don't need anything other than the spur. Now, admittedly, it does take a long time for you to get this weapon, so it's rough going. But if you can make it all the way to get the spur, it is bar none the best weapon. The biggest reason being, it completely ignores leveling down and up, which is an amazing feature in and of itself. It is insanely powerful, and frankly, it only gets better. Remember that store way back in the labyrinth? Well, turns out, if you go back there with the spur, they'll have something for you. So you definitely want to make sure to do that. If you've noticed, in a very short amount of time, we've gone from incredibly to extremely powerful. Hey, Booster.
Take Sue with you and leave the island, please.
Well, we will do that, but we have some unfinished business. Text is displayed on screen. Teleport to Egg Corridor, Kazuma. While we could do that, let's go back to the labyrinth. Like I said, there are some goodies there for us. Unfortunately, it brings you all the way back down here, back where Booster was. But with our new Booster version 2.0, it's no worries. Plus, with the upgraded spur, we do some insane damage. So getting through here is just a matter of how good you are. Plus, what a fun way to show off this weapon. Rushing through enemies, doing all this damage. Man, is it awesome. I love this weapon so much, and I have been so excited to get it. It makes all the suffering henceforth worth it. Plus, like I said, with the booster, you'll be doing just fine. And now, like I've said, you don't have to worry about the level system. The only thing you got to worry about is your HP. So long as you're topped up and ready to go, you'll get through this just fine. This is also now when you can get the arms guard, but frankly, with the spur, you don't need it. That's kind of why I recommend just using that little purple enemy to damage boost your way up. It's gonna help you a lot more in the little segment before getting the spur than it will ever with it. Kind of a shame that that's the case, but is what it is. But yeah, look at this thing's damage. It is insane how much this thing does. Plus, it really changes the flow of the game. It gives you an emphasis to focus on platforming and dodging while you're charging up the level 3 beam. I really like this difference in gameplay and think it resembles a lot more of like a traditional, say, Mega Man or even Metroid with the charge beam. It's awesome. And frankly, it is a reward well worth your time for waiting. Hey, guy.
Hi. This is the Labyrinth shop. Unfortunately, a burglar broke in recently and took everything. So I don't have anything to sell you. Sorry for the inconvenience. Ah,
Look, I'll give you this. And once you receive the spur, you can come back and obtain the whimsical star.
Well, now, it's more like a decoration. That's about all I can offer since you're already in possession of an ultimate weapon.
The whimsical star is a little item from Chaba in the labyrinth. It's a whimsical star. Unequip it? No. So when you get this, you might think, well, what does this do? Is there any real point to it? And yes, there certainly is. Specifically with the spur. Once you charge all the way to level 3, you will spawn little stars around you that do damage to enemies. This is an item that is imperative if you want to do the hardest ending of the game. It's going to seriously help you and make a lot of things easier. I believe whenever you take damage, you lose one of the stars, and you can simply replenish them by recharging the weapon. The other nice thing is that they'll eat projectiles for you if they can be destroyed. It's a super good upgrade. I would absolutely make sure to come back and grab it because frankly, it's free. You can also stop by your favorite frog doctors.
I'm a physician. Allow me to take care of you. Looks like the medicine is finally taking effect. She'll be much better very soon. It's all thanks to you.
Yeah, so thanks, pal. Otherwise, let's go back to Mimiga Village and, I guess go meet Kazuma in the corridor, shall we? Guess, who knows what he wants. Whew. Admittedly, I am having a lot of fun just using the spur and the whimsical stars with the booster. This, to me, this is the cave story I know and love. Once you have the spur, the whimsical stars, and the booster version 2.0, you're really playing this game how it's meant to be played. Not that before isn't cave story, it's just that this is the iconic game I know. It's kind of like in Metroid, before you get the Varia suit, it just doesn't feel right. And then once you get that iconic look for Samus, it all just sort of slots into place. It's so good. Plus, too, another big thing with the booster is that it seriously ups your speed. You're a lot faster than you ever were before. Plus, again, you don't got to worry about the level system, which is so awesome. I seriously can't praise these items enough. And while we have struggled quite a bit up to this point, these things are going to make our life a lot easier. Still, the game's going to get a lot harder from here on out. Should you have done everything correctly like we've done, the game accounts for this, and it's going to add some extra challenges in certain areas that would otherwise be a little bit easier. So be ready for that. Taking the path of champions like we are is dangerous. Still, I think we're up to the task. And even if we aren't immediately, we can always retry. So, next time we play Cave Story Plus, we'll go find Kazuma in the egg corridor and see what he wants. As always, I've been Bread. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.